The sun had barely begun to rise over the quiet town, painting the sky in soft shades of pink and gold, when Daniel, a veteran father with silver hair and tired eyes, stirred in his bed. His body ached like it had 100 years of memories stored in every joint, but nothing could prepare him for what he was about to see. A strange sound, soft and almost musical, pulled him from the edge of sleep. At first, he thought it was the wind slipping through the cracks of his old wooden house. But then he felt it, a presence, warm and electric, standing right beside him. Daniel opened his eyes slowly, blinking against the morning light. And there she was. A woman, or at least something that looked like one, stood in his bedroom. Her hair shimmered like liquid silver, falling over shoulders that moved with unnatural grace. Her skin glowed faintly, like moonlight trapped in human form. But the strangest thing of all were her eyes. They were golden, feline, sharp, like a fox staring at him from another world. "Don't be afraid," she said, her voice soft, like a lullaby that shouldn't exist in the real world. "I am here to make a choice with you." Daniel's heart skipped. He rubbed his eyes, thinking he might be dreaming. But when he opened them again, she was still there. And something deep inside told him that this was no dream. I don't understand," he said, his voice trembling. "Who are you?" "I am someone who can change your life, and the life of your family," she said, stepping closer. Every movement she made seemed impossible yet perfectly natural, like a dance Daniel had never seen but instinctively understood. "I am a fox woman. But I am not dangerous. I am an opportunity." Daniel sat up, gripping the edge of his bed. His mind raced. Stories of mythical creatures flashed through his memory, of fox spirits and magical beings, but those were legends, stories told to children. And yet, here she was, right in his home, offering something no human could refuse. What kind of opportunity?" he asked cautiously, his instincts telling him to run, but his curiosity rooting him to the spot. "An opportunity to rewrite the stars," she replied, her golden eyes reflecting something far older than time. "To undo mistakes, to reclaim what was lost, to make your life extraordinary." Daniel felt a chill. His life had been ordinary. Work, family, bills, the quiet ache of years passing too quickly. He had dreams once, long ago, dreams that felt as distant as the stars themselves. And now, some impossible creature was offering him a chance to reach them again. He wanted to say no. He wanted to believe this was a trick, a hallucination, the result of too many nights staring at the ceiling thinking about what could have been. But the air in the room seemed to hum with possibility. "What do I have to do?" Daniel finally asked. The fox woman smiled, a faint curve of lips that was more intriguing than comforting. "Nothing yet," she said. "But you must trust me. One choice, and everything can change. One mistake, and the consequences are yours alone." Daniel swallowed hard. He could feel the weight of her words pressing on his chest. His eyes flicked toward the window, where the first rays of sunlight were now cutting across the room. Outside, the town looked normal, quiet, predictable. Inside, everything had shifted. His life, his reality, had cracked open, and something wild was peering through. The woman reached out her hand. It was delicate, almost unreal, and Daniel noticed that where her fingers touched the air, the light seemed to bend slightly. "Do you accept the offer?" she asked. "Do you want to see what lies beyond the life you know?" Daniel hesitated. His mind screamed caution, fear. He had seen war, loss, pain, he knew the price of choices. But another part of him, a part he had buried under years of routine and responsibility, whispered yes. Yes to adventure. Yes to change. Yes to seeing the stars he had only dreamed of. He nodded slowly, almost involuntarily. I want to see," he said. Her smile widened, and for a brief moment, her form shimmered like liquid fire. "Good," she said. "Then you must follow me." Daniel's pulse quickened as she turned, gliding toward the window as though gravity itself welcomed her. He stood, unsure of what he was about to do, and followed. The moment he stepped closer, a strange energy wrapped around him, light and warmth filling every nerve in his body. His home, his familiar world, seemed to dissolve like mist in sunlight. Then, without warning, the fox woman leapt through the open window. Daniel hesitated, his feet on the wooden floor, heart pounding. And then the impossible happened, he found himself falling, but not toward the ground. He was suspended in a swirl of colors, stars, and energy, spinning through a sky that didn't exist. Through the whirlwind, he glimpsed visions, places he had never seen, people he had never met, worlds that seemed like dreams. He saw himself as a younger man, making different choices, seeing paths he had never dared to walk. And at the center of it all, the fox woman waited, her golden eyes calm and knowing. Daniel realized, with a mix of awe and terror, that he had stepped into something far beyond human understanding. Every choice, every regret, every dream he had buried was suddenly alive. And the fox woman was not just a guide, she was a key. A voice echoed in his mind, soft and mesmerizing. The stars can be rewritten. But only if you are willing to pay the price. Daniel's stomach twisted. What price? He didn't know yet. But the pull of the unknown was stronger than fear. He had lived a life of certainty, and now he was being asked to leap into uncertainty. To rewrite the stars. And for the first time in decades, Daniel felt truly alive. Outside, the sun rose fully, spilling light across the town. But inside the swirling vortex of stars and possibilities, Daniel and the fox woman were gone. Something extraordinary had begun. And whatever came next, he knew there was no turning back. Daniel's stomach churned as he floated through the whirlwind of stars and light. He tried to focus, tried to understand where he was, but the world around him seemed impossible. Colors he had never seen swirled together like a living painting, and shapes twisted and turned in ways that defied logic. The air, or whatever replaced air here, was alive, humming with energy that made his hair stand on end. The fox woman floated beside him, calm and composed, her golden eyes watching him with quiet patience. "Do not be afraid," she said again. "You are not falling. You are rising. Rising beyond the life you knew." Daniel's mind struggled to keep up. Rising? Where are we? "Not a place you can name," she replied. "Not yet. This is the space between choices. The realm of possibility. Here, the stars are not fixed. They can be rewritten. Lives can be changed. But it is not easy. Each step requires courage, each choice demands truth." Daniel swallowed hard. Courage and truth. Words easy to say but heavy to live. His heart pounded as he tried to imagine what kind of tests awaited him here. Suddenly, the colors around him shifted, forming shapes he could recognize. A city appeared beneath him, glowing with silver towers that stretched impossibly high into the sky. Streets curved like ribbons, and light sparkled like stars trapped in glass. He saw people moving through it, but they were strange, almost transparent, like echoes of life from another world. "Those are possibilities," the fox woman explained. "People who could have been, or will be, depending on the choices made. Some are yours. Some belong to worlds you have never touched. Watch carefully, and learn." Daniel felt a pull in his chest, a strange mixture of fear and awe. He wanted to reach out, to touch this world, but even as he tried, he felt invisible. Here, he was nothing and everything at once. The fox woman's voice cut through his thoughts. "You came here to rewrite the stars, but first you must understand them. Look, Daniel. See the choices." A vision formed before him, a memory of his life, but not quite as he remembered it. He saw himself as a younger man, standing at a crossroads. On one path, he stayed in his hometown, living an ordinary life. On the other, he joined the army, traveled the world, and met people who shaped him in ways he barely understood. Both paths were real, both paths alive in this place. Daniel felt a sharp pang in his chest. So many regrets, so many roads not taken. Could he really rewrite them? Could he truly change what had been? Yes, the fox woman said, reading his mind. You can. But the universe does not give gifts without cost. Every change has consequences. You cannot simply erase mistakes, you must face them, understand them, and accept the results. Daniel's stomach tightened. He had faced pain before, in battle and in life, but this was different. This was not physical. This was the weight of his own soul. Show me, he whispered. Show me what I must do. The fox woman extended her hand, and the world around him shifted again. Now he stood, or floated, on a narrow bridge of light, stretching into a void that seemed infinite. Below him, stars twinkled like tiny sparks, and above, the swirling colors of possibility stretched forever. Step forward, she said. Each step is a choice. Each choice is a test. Only by moving can you learn what you truly desire. Daniel hesitated. His mind screamed caution. One wrong step, and he could fall forever. But another part of him, hungry, daring, alive, pushed him forward. He placed one foot on the bridge, then another, and felt a strange warmth as the light supported him. The bridge led him to a scene from his past, a moment he had long buried. He saw his first child, laughing in a sunny garden, and himself, arguing with a friend over something trivial that had later cost him dearly. The memory shimmered with the glow of possibility. He could step into it, change the argument, keep the friendship, perhaps even alter the path of his life. Do you see? The fox woman asked. Even small choices ripple across time. You have the power to shape them. But be careful, what you change may not always bring happiness. Daniel's hand shook. Could he really interfere with the past? Was he ready to take responsibility for the outcomes? He closed his eyes, breathing deeply, and reached toward the memory. A sudden flash of light blinded him. When he opened his eyes, he was in a different place entirely. A vast desert stretched before him, golden sands shifting like liquid. Wind howled, carrying voices he could almost understand. In the distance, a figure approached, human in shape but strange, its face flickered like fire. This is a test of courage, the fox woman said softly. You must confront what you fear most. Only then can the stars be rewritten. Daniel swallowed hard. He had faced real danger before, but fear here was different. It was not physical, it was the fear of failure, of loss, of confronting himself. The fire figure stopped a few steps away. Its eyes glowed like embers, and it spoke in a voice that seemed to echo in Daniel's bones. You seek to change the past. You seek to rewrite your fate. But do you understand what it means to carry the weight of another life? Daniel's throat tightened. I want to try. I want to be better, to do better. The figure's fire flickered, and a path opened in the desert, glowing faintly. Then walk it. Face your regrets. Accept the pain, and learn from it. Only then will the stars bend for you. Every step Daniel took across the glowing desert tested him. He saw moments of weakness in himself, choices he had avoided, times he had been selfish or cowardly. Each vision cut him like a knife, forcing him to feel the emotions he had buried for years. Anger, shame, sorrow, longing, all burned brightly, yet strangely cleansing. Finally, he reached the end of the path, where a single flower bloomed in the sand, glowing faintly like starlight. The fox woman appeared beside him. You have faced yourself, she said. You have felt the weight of your choices. You are ready for the next step. But know this, the journey is far from over. What comes next will challenge not just your courage, but your heart. Daniel looked at her, exhausted but strangely alive. He realized she had not just brought him to another world, she had forced him to confront himself in ways he could never have imagined. The stars, the memories, the possibilities, they were no longer distant dreams. They were real, and they were in his hands. The fox woman smiled, a glint of mischief in her golden eyes. Rest now, Daniel. Tomorrow, the real choices begin. Daniel nodded, collapsing onto the soft, glowing sand. Around him, the desert shimmered, and for the first time in his life, he felt the weight of hope. He had taken the first steps into a world where nothing was fixed, where every decision mattered, and where even a veteran like him could still rewrite the stars. As he drifted into a strange, dreamless sleep, the fox woman watched him silently, her golden eyes reflecting constellations he could not yet name. And somewhere deep in the vastness of this impossible realm, the universe waited, holding its breath for what he would do next. Daniel awoke to a soft, golden light brushing his face. The glowing desert had vanished, replaced by a sky that shimmered with colors he could not name. Stars moved in patterns that seemed deliberate, as if watching him, waiting for his next decision. The fox woman stood beside him, her golden eyes reflecting the constellations above. Today, she said, her voice calm but firm, you will make the choice that decides everything. Daniel felt his chest tighten. The past days had been a whirlwind of impossible visions, tests of courage, and glimpses of worlds beyond imagination. He had faced himself, his regrets, and his fears. And now, he understood that nothing was as simple as it seemed. This was the moment where everything converged, the stars, the past, the future, and his own heart. What choice? He asked, his voice trembling. She smiled faintly, a mix of mystery and challenge. You may return to your old life, the life you know, with memories of what could have been. Or you may step forward, into a life rewritten. One where your dreams, your regrets, and your choices are reshaped. But know this, nothing is guaranteed. You could gain much, and you could lose much more. Daniel's mind raced. The thought of leaving behind his old life was terrifying. His family, his friends, the quiet routines he had clung to, they were all real, familiar, safe. But the pull of this new world, this chance to rewrite everything, was irresistible. He took a deep breath. If I do this, I might never come back. You will return if the universe allows, the fox woman replied. But it may not be the world you remember. It may not be the people you left. And even if you return, you will carry the changes you make forever. Daniel's heart pounded. The responsibility weighed on him like a mountain. He had dreamed of this, of changing his life, of making things right, of being more than he had ever been, but the stakes were far higher than he imagined. Every step from here would ripple across time, across the lives of those he loved, across the stars themselves. He looked up at the swirling constellations, imagining the life he had once lived, and the life he could have. The faces of his children flashed before his eyes, his wife's warm smile, his friends, moments of regret, moments of joy. Every memory, every possibility, stretched before him like an endless road. I need to see, he said finally. I need to know what could be. The fox woman extended her hand, golden light radiating from her fingertips. Then take it. Step forward with your heart open. But remember, every choice changes the stars. Choose wisely, Daniel. He reached out, feeling the warmth of her hand, and the world shifted. Colors swirled, stars twisted, and suddenly he was standing in a city unlike any he had ever seen. Towers of crystal reached into skies painted with strange auroras. Flying vehicles moved silently along winding paths of light. People walked and laughed, not quite human, not quite something else. Everything shimmered with life, possibility, and magic. A voice echoed in his mind, deep and resonant. Welcome to the city of what could be. Daniel wandered cautiously, feeling both fear and awe. Here, he could shape the lives around him. He could correct mistakes, change destinies, and craft a world beyond imagination. But as he moved, he realized something unsettling. every change he made had consequences. A small act of kindness altered someone's path entirely. A choice to speak differently or to act boldly sent ripples that he could feel in his own heart. He turned to the fox woman. "I understand now. This is more than just me. My choices affect everything." She nodded. "Yes. And now, the true test begins. The stars are ready to bend. But first, you must confront the one thing you fear most, your own heart." Suddenly, Daniel found himself in a memory he had tried to forget. He saw a young soldier, himself, standing over a friend, someone he had failed to save. The memory burned with sorrow, guilt, and regret. The fox woman's voice echoed softly, "Face it. Accept it. Only then will the stars yield to you." Daniel's knees shook. The pain of that memory was raw, but he stepped forward. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I did the best I could. I failed, but I can learn, I can change. I will not run from this anymore." The memory dissolved like mist, and a new path opened before him. The city shimmered brighter, alive with possibilities. The fox woman smiled. "You have faced your heart, Daniel. You have accepted your past. Now, choose your future." He thought of his family, his life, the quiet love he had sometimes taken for granted. He thought of the dreams he had abandoned, the adventures he had imagined, the man he had always wanted to be. And then he made his choice, not for glory, not for power, but for life itself. "I choose to live fully," he said. "To love, to learn, to change, to embrace everything, even the pain. I choose the stars, and the life I can build from them." The fox woman nodded, her golden eyes shining. "Then the stars will bend. But remember, even now, the universe listens. And every choice echoes forever." A brilliant light enveloped Daniel, lifting him from the city, from the memories, from the desert and the stars. He felt himself stretching, expanding, becoming both small and infinite at once. He saw glimpses of his life, rewritten, moments of courage he had never taken, acts of kindness that changed lives, laughter shared, tears understood. He saw himself, not as a man who had failed, but as a man who had learned, grown, and dared. When the light faded, he was back in his home, the morning sun spilling through the window. Everything seemed normal, yet nothing was the same. The air hummed with possibility. He glanced at his hands, then around the room, and realized he carried the weight, and the power, of every choice he had made. The fox woman was gone, leaving only a faint shimmer in the corner of the room. But Daniel could feel her presence, a gentle reminder that the universe had offered him a gift, and a responsibility. He rose, heart racing, and went to the window. Outside, the town was quiet, ordinary. But Daniel saw it differently now. Every life, every action, every moment was a star waiting to be rewritten. And for the first time in decades, he felt truly alive. A soft whisper echoed in his mind, almost like a breeze, "The stars are yours, Daniel. Make them shine." He smiled, a mixture of awe and determination. The past had shaped him, the future awaited, and the present was his to command. Whatever challenges came next, he knew he could face them. The fox woman had offered him a choice, and he had taken it, not for power, not for glory, but for life itself. And somewhere beyond the sky, the stars shimmered, bending gently, as if acknowledging a man who had dared to reach for them. Daniel looked out, feeling infinite. The adventure had only begun.